AEW President and CEO Tony Khan reportedly makes a major backstage change in All Elite Wrestling, now holding regular production meetings prior to AEW television tapings. Tony Khan has also said that the AEW Women's Tag Team title plans have been put on hold after multiple injuries in the Women's Casino Gauntlet match at AEW All In Texas. The date and location for AEW World's End later this year has been confirmed. We have the viewership information for last week's episode of WWE Raw on Netflix, an update on Jake Something's TNA wrestling contract status. CM Punk says he doesn't believe Kayfabe is dead, with WWE Unreal premiering on Netflix. We'll let you know why. Several matches have been confirmed for tonight's AEW Dynamite. Several matches and segments have also been confirmed for tomorrow's TNA Impact. The War Raiders are the latest WWE superstars to appear at Bloodsport over SummerSlam weekend. Gunther believes he and Goldberg exceeded expectations with their match at WWE Saturday Night's main event. Gunther has also said that CM Punk is one of the most unique performers that the business has ever had ahead of their World Heavyweight Championship match at SummerSlam this weekend. And Brooke Hogan says WWE didn't extend an invite for her to attend any shows dedicated to her late father, Hulk Hogan. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with backstage changes in All Elite Wrestling, particularly by Tony Khan and how he puts together his shows on a weekly basis. Now, according to a new report, a backstage change has been made in All Elite Wrestling, spearheaded by company president Tony Khan. Per a report from Brian Alvarez on X, Khan now holds regular production meetings with his backstage staff ahead of AEW broadcasts, with Khan's prior approach to production meetings said to be lacking somewhat. Quote, "I'll talk more about it on Wrestling Observer Live today, but Tony Khan has been doing actual production meetings for a while now, getting the top agents, announcers, etc. all in a room together to go over things before the shows," end quote. Now, Alvarez described Khan's previous approach to production meetings on Wrestling Observer Live, previously saying, quote, "Tony's production meeting was, well, I go and I meet with these guys, and then I go and meet with these guys, and then I go and meet with these guys, and then I talk to this agent." He just did these production meetings throughout the day, and that was what he considered production meetings. Other people were like, that's not a production meeting. So the point of this, of late, he's actually now doing these production meetings. Now, the change in approach was reportedly made months ago, and although Khan still meets individually with members of his team, he brings together a core group before AEW shows. Quote, "He'll get the announcers in there, he'll get the agents in there, he'll get some of his executives in there, and in a room together, they will go over the show," explained Alvarez. Now, Khan has received criticism in the past for his approach to elements of AEW's production, with a report in early 2025 highlighting the lack of consistent in-depth production meetings as a source of frustration within AEW, something reportedly that has now changed. Now, speaking of the AEW president, he has confirmed that plans for Women's Tag Team Championships in AEW are now effectively on hold. Now, Tony Khan has spoken on the future launch of AEW Women's Tag Team titles and has shared the unfortunate news that the number of injuries that were suffered in the AEW Women's Casino Gauntlet match at AEW All in Texas have impacted those plans. The AEW Women's division is stacked with talent, many of whom are in dedicated tag teams. Tony Khan has shared in the past that there are plans to create AEW Women's Tag Team Championships, even revealing that the belts have already been made. Now, he has explained that he would love to host a tournament to crown inaugural champions. However, a quarter of the division suffered injuries following the Casino Gauntlet match at AEW All in Texas. Speaking to Fightful's Iridian Fierro for WGN Radio, Khan provided an update on his plans for a women's tag team division, saying, quote, "Well, I will say this. I have a bunch of people I would like to get involved in a women's tag team tournament, potentially. There has been so much injury in the women's division, and as the person who put together the Women's Casino Gauntlet, I wish that we had come out of it healthier. A quarter of the people in the match got knocked out of the match and out of action indefinitely. So we had one match where I lost 25% of the roster in one match. So that was pretty hard because you had great people. People were very excited about Shuri. People were very excited about what Thunder Rosa had been doing. You mentioned Athena. They had a great match for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship and a rivalry that had been going on for months between Athena and Thunder Rosa. That even we saw more of it in the Casino Gauntlet match, and then the new Ring of Honor Interim Women's World Champion, Television Champion, Mina Shirakawa was also injured in that match, taking the O-face from Athena. Athena is doing a lot of damage, taking a lot of people out, and this match in particular, she did a lot of damage. Also, I would really like to have just mentioning people on the women's roster, not all necessarily for the tag team tournament, but to have a full roster competing for the Women's World Championship, the TBS Championship, and potentially tag team championships, because I would like to do AEW Women's World Tag Team Championships. To have that, I really think we do need to have a healthy division that can maintain these championships, because we haven't been able to sustain it. Now, Tony Khan confirmed that among the women injured is Mina Shirakawa. She was just crowned the interim Ring of Honor World TV Champion. Tony says he will focus more on creating new champions once everyone is healthy and the current title disputes are settled. He said, quote, "This year, that Casino Gauntlet match was fantastic with the women. I loved working with them on it as the coach and producer of the match, and it was 12 great women. But like I said, I was frustrated after that with all of the stories and ideas that I put into the match, working with them, and all the great ideas that women had coming back to me for the things we could do in the match, to lose a quarter of them in one night. That's really hard, and it makes it hard for the storytelling. But we're doing a great job of the shows and the stories to have that tournament and still have all the stories. I'm going to need some of these women back, and also some of the other people I mentioned, some other injured people on top of that. You know, we didn't even get into it, but another great woman who's on the shelf right now is Ring of Honor World Women's TV Champion. We crowned an interim champion who's fantastic with Mina Shirakawa. She's injured right now too, and the champion Red Velvet was out for Supercard. I wanted to make sure we had a great Supercard event, a great match. We did have a great event and a great TV title match to crown an interim champion, and soon we'll crown an undisputed TV champion when they're both cleared, Red Velvet and Mina Shirakawa. But again, having multiple situations with some of these injuries is part of why it has not made sense with the state of the roster to do that, but it is something I am interested in doing. I have the belts, I've made the belts, they exist, but I will put them into play when we are able to put on the very best full roster forward to have great action with competition for all the championships, including new championships, which you know, they are some championships issues to be settled in AEW and Ring of Honor right now with the great women we have down. Now, speaking of AEW, World's End, we have a date and location for AEW's traditional December pay-per-view. AEW World's End will take place on Saturday, December 27th from the Now Arena in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. The news was first reported by Cassie Lowe of Q101. From All Elite Wrestling, they said, quote, All Elite Wrestling today announced that Now Arena in Hoffman Estates, Illinois will host AEW World's End on Saturday, December 27th. The event will air live around the world on pay-per-view. Tickets for World's End will go on sale Monday, September 8th at 10 a.m. Central via Ticketmaster.com and AEWTix.com. Fans interested in early access pre-sale opportunities can register to become an AEW insider by visiting the AEW website. Tony Khan stated, quote, We've had such a great run of AEW TV these past few weeks. We've had so many great pay-per-view shows here over the years. I thought it would be great for the first time ever this holiday season to bring AEW World's End to the Chicagoland area at least. I'm very excited to announce December 27th. For the first time ever, World's End is coming to Chicago. We're going to have a great event. It's going to be a great way to spend the holiday weekend, Saturday, December 27th, for the first time ever, AEW World's End at the Now Arena, where it all began for us. Of course, World's End will feature the finals of the annual AEW Continental Classic. So, of course, if we get any more details on that, we'll let you know in a future video. Now let's talk about the Raw viewership numbers for last Monday's episode of Raw. WWE Raw is staying consistent in its viewership going into the first ever two-night SummerSlam this weekend. The report for last week's episode, the July 21st edition of the show, revealed not much change between the weeks for the Red brand compared to July 14th. According to WrestleNomics, who pulled the data from Netflix for its report, Raw averaged 2.7 million viewers globally through 7 days. The July 14th episode also drew in 2.7 million overall viewers over the same time period. Viewership for Raw had been steadily increasing since June 30th's recent low of 2.5 million average viewers. This week, Raw ranked 5th globally overall for English television shows, behind Untamed, Amy Bradley is Missing, The Hunting Wives, and The Sandman. The show received overall positive feedback from fans with a 7.16 rating on Cage Match. The show's main event, which featured former Women's World Champion Io Sky facing off against the number one contender for the bout Clash in Paris, Stephanie Vaquer, drew the highest rating from fans for the night. The first match of the night, a Sheamus victory over Rusev, was a close second. The episode also featuring a show opening promo from CM Punk, who is set to challenge World Heavyweight Champion Gunther at SummerSlam, and an appearance from Roman Reigns, who faced off against Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman. The segment would lay the groundwork for the tag team match involving Jey Uso, which was later set up on social media for the biggest event of the summer. Switching over to TNA Wrestling here, a bit of an update on one of their talent's contract status. Jake Something has plenty of time seemingly left on his TNA Wrestling contract. After sustaining a loss in a 3-win match at TNA Slammiversary, a number of people had asked about the contract status of Jake Something. He'd recently taken TNA out of his bio, and many wondered if that was a farewell for him. He ended up winning a match against Mance Warner just a few days later, and Fightful inquired within TNA about his status. It was confirmed to Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp that Jake Something's TNA contract runs until at least summer 2026. He originally signed a 3-year deal upon returning to the company in 2023. Now, several people are talking about WWE Unreal after the docuseries premiered on Netflix. And in case you've been living under a rock, WWE Unreal is now out on the streaming platform. The 5-part series takes fans behind the scenes of WWE from Raw on Netflix's premiere to WrestleMania 41. Fans get a look backstage, before events, and inside the writer's room to see how shows and stories come together. Kayfabe, is it dead? That's the question DJ Head posed to CM Punk on Effective immediately. He said, quote, "No, you can make a claim it was dead in the 50s and 60s. If you know your wrestling history, in a way, it's always been dead. The true workers, the real magicians, will always find a way to hook people and make people believe. That's our job. I don't care what people see or don't see on Netflix. I'm the master. I will get you. I will figure it out, and I will get you," said Punk. Now, of course, Punk is prominently featured on WWE Unreal, as it covers his story from working with Seth Rollins in the Raw on Netflix premiere to main eventing night 1 of WrestleMania 41. So do you agree with Punk? Is kayfabe dead? Has it always been dead? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Now, several matches have been confirmed for tonight's AEW Dynamite. AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Toni Storm will team with Alex Windsor to take on Athena and Billy Starks on the July 30th episode of AEW Dynamite. AEW President Tony Khan announced the match on social media yesterday, July 29th. Athena successfully defended her Ring of Honor Women's title against Windsor on Saturday's AEW Collision. Athena and Starks continued to attack Windsor after the match until Storm made the save. Athena has a guaranteed shot at Storm at the AEW Women's World Championship, which she earned by winning the Women's Casino Gauntlet match at AEW All In Texas. Switching over to tomorrow's TNA Impact, more segments and matches have been confirmed for this show. On Tuesday, July 29th, TNA Wrestling took to social media to announce that an exclusive interview with Sami Callihan will air on Thursday's episode of TNA Impact. This will be Callahan's first appearance since being verbally dismantled by former X Division champion Moose a few weeks back. Callihan also commented on the forthcoming event, saying it will feature a major announcement about his career. In addition to that, Mike Santana will be on the program to address his loss at TNA Slammiversary. Of course, this also includes a TNA Knockouts World Championship match with JC Jane defending against Master Slamovich in a rematch from TNA Slammiversary. The War Raiders are the latest WWE names to be taking part in Bloodsport across SummerSlam weekend. The War Raiders, Eric and Ivar, are coming to Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 14. This will mark the Bloodsport debut for Eric and Ivar. The duo are multi-time WWE Tag Team Champions. Bloodsport 14 takes place on Saturday, August 1st across SummerSlam weekend, as I previously mentioned. Gunther, he's been commenting ahead of SummerSlam weekend. He spoke about the recent Goldberg retirement match. Now, Gunther believes that he and Goldberg exceeded expectations at WWE Saturday Night's main event. At the July 12th edition of WWE Saturday Night's main event, Goldberg met Gunther in his retirement match as he challenged the world champion for his crown. The pair would have a back-and-forth match that would end with the world champion retaining his title. While speaking to Radio Times in a new interview, Gunther spoke about wrestling Goldberg in his retirement match, expressing mentioned his belief that the pair exceeded expectations with the match. He said, quote, "I was very happy with how everything went against Goldberg, and I feel like we exceeded expectations for the match. For me, it was important to not go out there and have the typical 3 or 4 minutes of action and that's it." Gunther continued, noting that Goldberg can be very happy with the match and the connection that he had with the audience on that night. He said, quote, "I wanted time to tell a story and take the audience on a ride and make them feel bad for him a little bit before it all ends. I think we succeeded with that. He can be very happy with the match and the connection that he had with the audience because that felt very special." Now, Gunther has also actually showered his SummerSlam opponent CM Punk with praise. So, of course, CM Punk is currently scheduled to challenge the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther this weekend after winning a #1 Contenders Gauntlet match a couple of weeks ago on Raw. The two men have come face-to-face from the past 2 weeks' episodes of WWE Raw, trading words on the microphone. While speaking to the Radio Times in this interview, Gunther had praise for CM Punk, calling him one of the most unique performers that the wrestling business has ever had. He said, quote, "I'm looking forward to getting in the ring with Punk on a big stage like SummerSlam in a prominent spot like that. That's why I joined the company. I wanted to be in the ring with the top guys, and him coming back was a big deal. He's one of the most unique performers that the business has ever had. That's what I'm here for. I'm all ready for it, and I'm prepared and excited." Gunther continued, noting that his upcoming title defense is his most exciting one he's had as world champion so far. He said, quote, "I've always operated better when I've had responsibility on me, and that's the case here. I embrace it and I enjoy it. And SummerSlam is the next big one. I did Mania with Jay, but I feel like the SummerSlam match with Punk from an overall perspective is one that I am most excited for." And finally, a bit of an update here as to why we didn't see Brooke Hogan on any of the WWE tributes to the late WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan. Now, WWE has honored Hulk Hogan for 3 straight shows following his passing on Thursday, July 24th. WWE SmackDown, WWE Raw, and WWE NXT all opened, with the roster gathered on stage or around the ring with a 10-bow salute and a moment of silence before being held for the 2-time Hall of Famer before a video package tributing to him aired. Now, Hulk's friends and family attended WWE Raw and SmackDown with Jimmy Hart, Jim Duggan, Eric Bischoff, Nick Hogan, and more attending the events. Before this, Brooke Hogan's daughter, of course, was notably absent, and she says there was no invitation on behalf of WWE for her to actually attend the shows. Quote, "For those of you giving a crap about me not attending my dad's tributes, WWE did not extend me an invite," she wrote on her Instagram stories. Now, Brooke has been on WWE and TNA television in the past in storylines with her father. Of course, we get any more details on why WWE didn't extend an invite, we'll let you know in a future video. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.